For so many, it's like being a hamster on a wheel. You go round and round and you get absolutely nowhere. And that becomes the paycheck to paycheck American cycle. What's up, everybody? It's your girl TJ back with another video talks with TJ, aka TJ2 Swoosh Chains, who's wearing none. Again, done with the workout. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you're brand new, let's just go ahead and subscribe. You know, let's subscribe, okay? Because that gives you a chance to enter the 10K giveaway. Hopefully, you participate in that. A lot of these sponsors are giving away some amazing gifts. You can find out what the gifts are below in the description box. So please make sure that you do all of the steps you need to do on Instagram in terms of following myself, following them and the owners of 8 and 9 and Sneakerheads Clothing Line as well, and that enters you in a chance to win the giveaway. And also comment on the giveaway video hashtag 2SwooshCrew, because you know that lets me know that you are locked in with me. If you aren't already a subscriber, you already know. Let's just rock together in the comment section. So let's dive into this video, because y'all, this cycle that happens, it's far worse than the Jordan Trap video I made, okay? Because this affects everyone. You don't need to be a sneakerhead for this, but that cycle starts early on, because think about it, a lot of kids that are coming out as college graduates, they're already starting far behind the 8 ball, because you're anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 in student loan debt, depending on what degree you acquired, what school you went to, how long you went to school, how many degrees you acquired. And I'm no different than you. I had student loans coming out as well. I'm still paying on my student loans. Those should be done in the next few years. But a lot of students already start behind the 8 ball, because you already have a negative net worth. If somebody chooses to not go to college and they don't incur debt and they're done with high school, well, guess what? They're actually a little bit better off than you in the short term, because they at least don't have a negative net worth. Now, long term, your degree may open more doors for you and take you farther, but you don't need a degree to become really successful. Like, thank God for the internet, because you can become an amazingly successful person, you know, based on, you know, can you meet a demand that's in the marketplace and provide the value that somebody is willing to pay? That's really what it comes down to, you know, like at the end of the day, that's kind of what it is. So you don't have to have a degree to become successful and go somewhere, but yes, it does help. And for certain fields, you do need it. Like if you want to be a CPA, or you want to go into engineering, or you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, you know, we get it. There are certain professions I really would like you to have gone to school, done all your schooling, and have gotten better than a D. I don't need you defending me in court if all you got was a D. I don't need you operating on me if all you got was a D. I'm just being real there. But the American paycheck to paycheck cycle, so what does that mean, just to break it down in like common terms? If you were to miss a paycheck, you'd be in deep, let's just say it, shit. That's exactly what you'd be in, okay? And that's not to say that you got there because you are irresponsible, because things happen to people. People lose jobs. People get in tight binds. They go through these really stressful, different transitions in terms of family life, okay? And so you may go from being here to being here, moving here to moving here, and any number of things can happen, okay? Medical expenses can really derail someone in terms of their finances. They can have it all together, and by the time they get done having to pay for a lot of medical expenses, they can then have drained all of their savings and not have anything. So if a paycheck is missed, it means they can't pay bills, they can't put food on the table, they can't put gas in their car, they can't get to work, they can't do the very basic things of, you know, life that they need to do. Then what happens? Well, a lot of times they will either turn to payday loans, which is just god awful. Like, please don't ever do that. If you can avoid doing that, don't do that. It's like a legal loan shark and it's terrible. Don't do that to yourself. Or they'll turn to credit cards. Now, I'm not saying that using a credit card is ever necessarily a bad thing. You can use it very responsibly. I do believe that. I've used my credit card responsibly. I've used it to actually help build my credit to where it is right now. I don't really have any credit worries, okay? I'm sitting pretty nice in terms of my credit score. But you can get into that trap, though, of using it, and instead of using it in a means of which you have the money right then and there, or you will, to pay it in full, a balance starts to carry over, and then interest payments come, and then heaven forbid if something else happens and you can't make that payment, well, then you get behind on payments, and now you're paying more for, let's just say you spent $50 at the grocery store. Well, with that interest tacked on, you're now spending more than that $50 for what you paid for the food, and you've already already eaten that food. So you're now paying more for things that you've already consumed and you're not even able to enjoy anymore. That becomes the problem with credit in itself if you have to rely on it as a crutch. If you have a credit card, it should be used as a tool, not a crutch. The credit card should not be what you fall back on, but if you get caught in that paycheck to paycheck cycle and something happens, you may fall back on that credit card. And breaking, you know, when it has to do with that cycle, it's not always a spending problem, and I don't want people to ever think like, oh, well, I'm just the reckless spender. That's not it all the time. Sometimes it's an income problem. Like, I've seen people lay out what their life is like, and they are just doing the basics. Like, I'm not kidding. They're not picking up retros, okay, every single week. Yes, I happen to just have this, you know, nearby for a prop. They're not just picking up retros every single week. They are doing the bare minimum, whether it's buying a home or paying for, you know, a home or rent, whether it's putting food on the table, gas or transportation, you know, Uber, public transit. They are putting the basic clothes on their own backs, their kids' backs. They are paying for, you know, any medical expenses they may have. If they have to take care of a pet, they're paying just the basics. They may not even have cable. They may just have like just basic internet and they stream, you know. Instead of paying for a high cable bill, they only pay like $12.99 a month for Netflix and they just live off of that. They can be paying the bare minimum, but you can still be behind the 8 ball because you know, if you're a basic American, a lot of us, I do have car debt. I have a car note as well. It's the first car note I ever got was only a few years ago, and I paid that sucker off quick in 16 months, and then it got totaled. So let's just not even talk about that. But I have one as well. Now, I understand my payment is, you know, very manageable for myself, but people will have car payments, they'll have student loan payments, and once you look at all the mandatory expenses they have, fixed or variable, they can come out negative and they are doing everything they're supposed to be doing. So then it becomes an income problem. And where that comes in, you just have to hustle a little bit harder to be able to earn more to get yourself in a position where you're not on that cycle. So how do you break that paycheck to paycheck cycle? Start to save if you can at all in any way. And I understand you may set like, let's just say you put $300 or $500 aside. That first month, you really start to want to save in 2020. You feel like you're doing great. And then lo and behold, something happens come February and you got to wipe it all out. Don't be discouraged, okay? Honestly, don't be discouraged. Just make another budget for February. That involves you saving, okay? The whole thing to get out of this paycheck to paycheck cycle is you have to save. I know you get discouraged. I know things happen, but save. When you put that away, it better be an actual emergency for you to use it. And don't touch it. And as you start to build up savings, if something were to happen, the way you can look at, have you broken that paycheck to paycheck cycle, look at your savings account and think, how many paychecks could I go not actually needing one? So how many pay cycles can I go? So if you get paid weekly, and let's just say you get paid, I don't know, $500 weekly if you're a young adult. You get paid $500 weekly, okay? 500. Look at your savings. So if you have $1,000 in there, it means you can afford to miss 2 paychecks and you will do just fine. That means you've somewhat broken that paycheck to paycheck cycle, but in a very minuscule way, we want to continue to grow that so that it's more so where ideally you have like 3 months to 6 months in which you have that savings put aside. So that's a goal for you to always have, that paycheck to paycheck cycle. It is a terrible thing that a lot of people get caught up in, even young people, even when they don't try to. I get it. It's hard to break. We've seen parents go through it. We've seen a lot of generations go through it, and our friends may be going through it as well. But it is something with diligence and a plan you can break. So if you're trying to do that and you just don't think there's any way that you can save, well, you can probably need to start on a budget. If you don't know how to do that, my ebook is available to teach you how to budget. It is 100% free. I don't charge for it. I want you to be able to manage your money to the best of your ability. So if you'd like a copy of that, you can go ahead and just find my email in the description box. If you go on Instagram, my email is linked right there. Just click it, email me, just put budgeting ebook in the subject line and I will get it out to you right away. Usually within like an hour, but if it takes me 24 hours because I'm really busy, I'll still make sure I get that out to you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You got something out of it. Thank you so much for all of your support. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace out. Randomly, also, your girl has sneaker purchase that occurred. Can you guess what it is? Pretty excited.